Hey everybody, welcome to another movie review. This time we're doing a movie that is probably one of the more divisive movies that I've done in one of these reviews. Critics seem to love it, calling it one of the best horror movies of all time. People who have seen the movie in theaters seem to really dislike it. And yeah, so you kind of guess what horror movie I'm talking about. Hereditary. Hereditary is the story of a girl named Annie who just had her grandmother pass away, and she's going through some problems grieving over not only the death of her mom, but dealing with the after effects of who her mom was, what her mom wanted her to be, and the problem that she also inherited, much like in the title, certain issues that the mom had. Now, we never see the mom because she passed away, but we do hear stories about her throughout the movie from different characters, mostly from Annie, played by Toni Collette, who's doing a really good job in this movie because she's the one who is the person that everyone is really acting against. She has her husband, played by Gabriel Byrne. She has her son Peter, played by Alex Wolff. And she also has her daughter Charlie, played by Millie Shapiro. And I've seen this movie 2 times already, and if you're a horror movie fan, this is definitely worth seeing. But I can understand why critics love this movie and why your normal audience has huge issues with it, and we'll get to that in a little bit. I really enjoyed this movie both times I saw it. When you get to see it twice, you get to see, especially Toni Collette's character, changes your perception of what she is. Because when you first see it, this is going to be spoiler free, by the way. When you first see it, you kind of feel one thing about her, but when you see it a second time, she's the complete opposite. So that makes it, and it's hard to explain it without going into spoilers, which I'm going to try not to, but she does a very good acting job. She's the one who has to not only be grieving for most of the movie, she's also the one who you see most of the movie through. At least the first time, she's definitely more of the main character and something else. But when you see it a second time, she becomes a more sympathetic character, and she has a very tough job acting in this movie, especially going from being thought of as crazy. See, her problem is she believes she has some type of disorder, and we learned through a therapy session once her mom died that her mom didn't really care for her. Her mom had mental problems of her own. She had a brother who she mentions kills himself, and I won't say why, but when you are in that scene where she is in the help center, where she's in the grieving center, definitely pay attention to everything she says. I know she says a lot in that scene and it goes a little long, but the attention to detail, especially once we get to the end, is you'll get a lot more out of it. And that's why when I saw it the second time, I was like, oh, that makes a lot of sense. She also has to deal with the insanity that not only that she was born with, but the insanity of what her mom put her through, and now what she's doing with her kids. I will say this: the character of Charlie I don't want to say anything about her facially, whatever. She is actually in real life just a 15-year-old girl, but she just through her facial expressions and the way the camera's always shooting her, she is really frightening. And she has this habit, and there's a musical, not a musical clue, a sound effect that's always in the movie where you hear someone go, and that's coming from Charlie. And when that happens, something is usually weirdly happening on screen. The brother Peter, played by Alex Wolff, him I probably had the most problem acting wise. I don't know why, but something just felt off. Also by the fact that he didn't look like he belonged in the family for some reason. I mean, at the end he does have to carry some emotional weight, but it's usually without talking. But for some reason I wasn't a huge fan of his facial expression. Gabriel Byrne as the father really didn't get much to do. But, you know, this isn't his movie. This is definitely Annie's movie, Toni Collette, and she is really good in this movie. I would have to say this is like one of the better acting performances I've seen in a horror movie. This movie is super... I know when the commercials first came out for it, everyone was saying this is the best horror movie of all, or this is the scariest movie of all time. It's not. It doesn't really become a horror movie until like the last 10-15 minutes, but boy does shit go sideways in that time frame. Other than that, it is a very spooky movie though, and it's a movie intentionally made to make you uncomfortable. This movie is directed by Ari Aster. I believe this is his first directorial gig, and this movie's really beautifully shot. A lot of the scenes involve Toni Collette's character. She's a model maker, so a lot of times she'll be, you know, making little models, and she'll even make models of events and the house and things that happen in her own personal life. And the movie's really well framed using the models most of the time, but this movie's spooky. Not spooky, but it's unnerving. I never felt more uncomfortable watching a movie than this one. There were times where I was like, I don't think I'm old enough to watch this movie, and I saw it the first time with Jeff. Yeah, so I really enjoyed the story. It is a little bit of a slow burn, but as far as the bad goes, I've heard people call this movie satanic, cultish, and it kind of is. I'm not going to explain why, but this is, if you're not prepared for stuff of the occult, stuff like The Omen, stuff where they talk about demons, there are a couple of seances in this movie, you are not going to like this. Those are the parts that made me uncomfortable, but it never made me not want to keep watching. I can see religious people having huge issues with this part of with these factors in the movie. And also the ending is, I like the ending. The ending makes you think about, holy crap. Even if you don't like it, even if you do like it, I guarantee you will not leave this movie going, okay, you will go, what the hell did I just see? And depending on your point of view, that could be good or bad. I really enjoyed this movie. Like I said, I had to watch it 2 times because the first time I had problems with my vision. The second time I saw it, I got more out of it, and I still felt uncomfortable. The last 10 minutes, pure horror, batshit insanity. Especially once you get to the final narration and stuff is explained. I will give this movie a lot of credit. The trailer gives away nothing of this movie. Nothing. I don't think anything in the trailer other than probably Annie's beating her head against a door or a ceiling was the only thing probably past the 30-minute mark in this movie. I don't know if I can recommend this for everyone. Like I said, this got a B+ on CinemaScore, which is very hard to do, but if you're a person who doesn't like the occult, doesn't like demons, has a hard time viewing, I want to say it, satanic images, you're not going to like this movie. Don't go. But if you do want to see a horror movie that will make you unnerved, if you do want to see a really good movie that's really well acted by Toni Collette and brings you to an ending that will probably make you think more than any other movie will, I definitely say go out of your way to see Hereditary. I have to give it an 8.5. This is a really good movie. if the son probably could have been a little bit of a better actor, I would have gave this movie definitely higher. But wow, this is a really good movie. I saw it twice already just to get different perspectives, and like I said, everything I thought about Toni Collette the first time I saw it changed the second time. So, did you see Hereditary? Write your thoughts down in the comments below. Like, subscribe, and hopefully the next movie I see won't be so unnerving, or I won't walk out of it going, what the hell did I just watch? But if it's like this, I have no problem with it. So that's all for today. Bye.